Sometimes things are so horrible that it is hard to believe they're real. And we simply reject the reality that is way too cruel to comprehend. However, facts remain no matter what. Good afternoon. Henry Keane on UATV English is about to explain some hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine. Alice Jill Edwards, the UN Special Reporter on the matter of torture and inhumane attitude towards prisoners of war, has stated the torture of Ukrainian prisoners of war is a mass phenomenon and part of the state policy of the Russian Federation. Russian propaganda is Russian propaganda and acts as Russian propaganda should. It encourages Ukrainian soldiers to surrender. However, the enemy's promise of a decent detained conditions for prisoners of war is just as well nothing but what Russian propaganda really is all about: lies. Russia is a machine that produces lies on an industrial scale, and facts that consist of personal experience of prisoners of war and international evidence shows it clearly. Russian captivity is a dire test for survival and is all about torture, abuse, and moral and physical exhaustion. The cases of executions and brutal massacres of Ukrainian prisoners of war by Russian militants have been well documented.
This is not random, aberrant behavior. This is orchestrated as part of state policy to intimidate, instill fear, or punish, to extract information and confessions. Russian authorities have failed so far to send a directive to their soldiers and the military command informing them that torture and such types of detentions and interrogations are not acceptable. They deny they do it, but show me the military directive where torture is prohibited. Alice Jill Edwards, the UN Special Rapporteur on torture.
You see, being captured by Russian army is by no means a guaranteed salvation. Rather, on the contrary, it is nothing but a forced step when resisting. The enemy is no longer an option. Unlike Russians, the defense forces of Ukraine strictly adhere to international conventions on the treatment of prisoners of war. And in case of surrender with equipment, military equipment, we pay money, yes. And the payments are guaranteed. It is no mercy or weakness, but a necessity. We are no Russians. By treating the enemy as a human being, we are marking our belonging to the civilized world. As simple as that. Opera singer Fang Wang arrived at the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine as part of a group of citizens of the PRC, sang Katyusha song in front of the Russian leadership at the ruins of the Mariupol Drama Theatre, and later she visited Simferopol city. Maybe it is time for our Ukrainian singers to visit the free land of Taiwan and discuss how exactly they fight for freedom, so to exchange an experience, in regards to the autocratic larger opponent. They, in free independent Taiwan, understand that visiting the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine by foreign citizens without the consent of the Ukrainian authorities is simply illegal. Mariupol is the site of grief. One of the greatest tragedies during the full-scale Russian invasion occurred there, with tens of thousands of Ukrainian civilians murdered by Russia. Singing Russian songs at the ruins of the Drama Theatre, where a Russian bomb killed several hundred civilians, including children. How cynical this, you would say, is at a scale from 0 to 10. And how can it be justified? Maybe it can be. This is why Kyiv expects an explanation from Beijing in regard for its citizens visiting Mariupol, as well as the way of their entry into TOT of Ukraine. Ukraine respects the territorial integrity of RPC and expects reciprocity from the Asian side. The behavior of Fang Wang and her entourage is clearly incompatible with Beijing's peace initiatives regarding the Russian-Ukrainian war. Double standards? Oh my God! Who could have expected that from a communist autocracy, right? On September 11, 2001, the largest terrorist attack in the history of the United States took place, which was organized by the Al-Qaeda terrorist group. Along with the entire civilized world, Ukraine condemns terrorism in any form, whether domestic or international. We know what we are talking about. The Russian Federation is a terrorist state led by an international thug at large. What Putin's Russia does in Ukraine is nothing but terrorism. There is simply no other term in any language for organizations such as the Wagner PMC, for example. For Russian drones and missiles that have been terrorizing Ukrainian civilians in their homes and in the public places for many months in a row. The Kremlin purposely kills people and creates impossible conditions for them on the temporarily occupied territories of our land. The Kremlin openly cooperates with terrorist regimes and, in order to harm the West, is ready to share military technologies and weapons of mass destructions with them. Putin's Russia has no place in the community of civilized states. It must be officially recognized as a terrorist state and excluded from influential international organizations, just as it happened with Al-Qaeda. So God bless America and glory to Ukraine. It was Henry Kino, UATV English, hoping to give you the hard truth in easy enough terms on our Today wrap-up. Comment, like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters a lot to us, so stay safe and tune for more tomorrow. See you soon.